So my first question will be, well, what have you been up to since the last time we spoke?
A couple of things. Since the last time we spoke, I worked on X Factor, and then right after that, literally 2 days after I finished doing the boot camp section of X Factor, I started preparing myself and getting ready to go to Cape Town, South Africa, to film a Warner Brothers movie, the 5th installment of House Party.
Wow. And what was that experience like?
I have to be very honest. It was definitely life-changing for me. Just going back, going to the motherland was amazing. My first step into the land, it was very emotional for me. Felt like I was coming back home. And then being able to work in South Africa where once, people of color weren't allowed to do anything. And now these young people have the opportunity after the apartheid to partake in such a thing like doing a movie.
Yes.
For Warner Brothers, you're talking about, these kids' parents at one point didn't have the rights to do anything because of the apartheid that was happening in the 80s and very early 90s. So, I learned a lot, and it was a great experience for me overall.
Did you get a chance to interact with the people that were over there?
Oh yeah. I even got a chance to go to Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was jailed. He was in prison there for 17 years. He was in prison for a total of 27 years, but he was in Johannesburg first. Then they shipped him to Cape Town, and this off-island called Robben Island. So I got to talk to some of the ex-prisoners that were there, and they actually gave us a tour about, the whole history of the apartheid. And, I actually learned how to pronounce it. I used to pronounce it apartheid. And they said that just think of hate, and that's how you remember it, apartheid. So, yeah. So I got to speak to a lot of people. Plus, I hired 19 dancers, and all of them were local dancers. So I was with locals every day.
Wow. What is the dance scene like over there? What is their dance culture like over there?
You know what? Very much so like ours.
Wow.
I didn't know, what to expect, but they're very much so like us. And, with YouTube being available to them and television, they've learned to train themselves, and also they've learned to, understand that, training is very important. And, they also hire local Hollywood choreographers to fly out to South Africa to teach workshops.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And they also take the initiative themselves to fly out. A lot of them fly out. I must say, I met so many of them that they fly themselves to New York or Los Angeles, for weeks at a time, sometimes months at a time, just to train, and then go back to Africa and teach them everything they've learned here.
Wow, that's amazing. Seeing as that they brought you out there, being the great dancer and choreographer that you are, and you hired dancers, is this an indication that this installment of House Party will be returning to the dancing roots, kind of like the first and the second one?
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely an upgrade. I'm gonna be honest with you from the first or second one.
Okay.
House Party is not really a dance film. It's not like Stomp the Yard or Step Up Revolution or any of the other past movies that I've done, but it just has a couple of dance elements in it. There's one battle scene where the two lead girls go up against the two lead guys in the house. They battle, and then later on there's a DJ battle that goes on. Two DJs compete against each other, and in the midst of that, that's where my 19 dancers come in, and I did this whole huge dance choreography section while they were battling back and forth. And one of the DJs was considered old school DJ, so most of his music was old school beats. And then the other one was very, dubstep, very new step, new style. So it was the combination of both of those styles of music, and I choreographed to that. And it turned out to be a 3-minute routine, which was amazing. It was fun. It was great. The dancers enjoyed it. Director, producers, everyone, said it was great. So, I mean, it was a good experience for everybody, not only for myself, but for everyone else.
Do you have any clue why they chose Africa? Do you know why they decided to shoot it there?
Absolutely, I know why. It's way cheaper. Way cheaper. Our dollar goes a long way over there. The movie, I think it was a $3.9 million budget movie. And they were able to hire local actors. I mean, they hired a lot of LA actors, too, don't get me wrong. They hired, I'm going to say about 5 or 6 local actors from here. And then the rest of the actors they hired from over there.
Wow, that's so they're bringing business over there, too.
Yeah. Yeah, but well, you know what? When you do a Screen Actors Guild movie, by law, wherever you film, you have to hire a certain amount of locals anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have the rand, which is their currency, and our dollar, is worth a lot of money. Like, for every $1 is like 8.7 or 8.9 of their rand.
Wow.
So our dollar goes a very long way. So they were able to do a lot of stuff. And even with flying us all out there first class and putting us up and having to give us per diem, it was still way cheaper to film over there than over here.
Do you think Hollywood will be doing that a lot more often?
Oh, yeah. This is not the first film that they've done in Cape Town. Okay. They have a studio out there called Film Africa.
Wow. Okay.
And Film Africa has been filming films there forever. And, now it's becoming even more and more and more popular. And a lot of people are filming out there. A lot. This is just the very first time that they filmed anything that was dance-related. Had a little bit of dance in it, so.
How long were you out there for?
I was out there for exactly, I think it was almost 6 weeks, 5.5 weeks.
Okay, so did it hit you while you were there, or when you came back home? Like, wow, I just came from Africa, or I'm in Africa.
It hit me when I got there.
Wow.
The moment that I got there, and I stepped foot on their soil, I felt, I can't believe I'm here. This is Africa, and it was great because, though I worked, but I also had a lot of leisure time, and I went to the safari, and I went to Table Mountain, which is one of the 7 wonders over there in Cape Town, and I got to do a little bit of everything. I even went to some of their local clubs, with locals. I did the tourist thing. I mean, you name it, I did pretty much everything that I can possibly do as a tourist.
Wow, that's great, man. I'm happy that you got a chance to experience that.
Yeah, it was quite an amazing experience.
Now, with an experience like that, and here it is, you can go there, and of course you got your own camera and stuff like that. Do you feel that it's important for dancers to have press to talk about those types of experiences that they may encounter, whether it be Africa or the UK or Japan and China, just the different things that dancers and choreographers can get exposed to themselves? Do you feel that there's a need for people like us and just press in general for the dance industry to document and talk about the great things you guys are doing in your travels?
Oh yeah, I think it's very important. I think that everybody needs to understand and not be ignorant of the fact. Because you know how many people have asked me, "Oh, when you was in Africa, did you come across lions? Was there giraffes running through the streets?" And I'm like, okay, that's so ignorant. Mm-hmm. But they need to know that a city like Cape Town is very much so like LA. Mm-hmm. They have mountains and palm trees and beaches, lots of buildings. It's very city. So not only do people need to know about, the actual location, but also that the people are just the same, just like we are. Everyone is there, the same struggle. Everybody wants to make it. Everybody wants to help their families. Everybody wants to be someone. Everyone wants to better themselves. And they also need to know that LA is not the only place that have talent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talented people out there in South Africa, extremely talented, and like everyone from the actors to the camera people and producers to your dancers. Like I was very impressed with everybody there, and they're extremely grateful and they don't take anything for granted.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've noticed that within our travels as well too. You know, everybody always appreciates it more. That's not from here, as far as the dance culture anyway. They appreciate it a lot more.
Oh yeah, I mean they totally gave me red carpet superstar status, treatment everywhere I went. Everything from having a 3-bedroom, 3-bath condo hotel to, having my own personal driver, to having 2 personal assistants to, pretty much for whatever I wanted, they gave me.
Wow.
Like, and over here I don't get that. It's not that, I need it all the time, but it's always good to feel, I don't know, it's always good to feel appreciated.
Yes, I understand.
That's what they made me feel. They made me feel like, wow, we're grateful for everything you've done, and we want to treat you. In other words, they celebrated me.
Yes.
They truly celebrated me, and to me, that's the true meaning of a celebrity, someone who is celebrated.
Mm-hmm. For the work that they do and for the giving back.
For the work, exactly, for the work that they've done, and the lives that, through your work that you have changed. You changed so many lives, and you have motivated and inspired so many young people through the work that you've done. Mm-hmm. It's quite amazing that all the way from over here, I'm doing, just doing me, not knowing that I'm touching someone's life,
mm-hmm.
Way in Africa.
Yes.
And at the moment that they meet me, like they're almost in tears because they can't believe that I'm tangible and that I'm real, mm-hmm. that I'm human, that I'm just like they are.
Yes, I understand. Now, after that experience, when you come back home to the States, do you jump right back into a project, or do you jump into teaching workshop? Like, what do you do, or do you just take a break?
I'm taking a break right now only because there isn't a job, mm-hmm. but it's not because I want to. I want to work. I want to continue to work up into the year end. Right now, I have a couple of commercials that I'm going to be doing. And one of them doesn't start until like the 6th or 7th of November. So right now, yes, I'm on a break, but I'm grateful for it because I've just been going and going and going for, quite a few months in a row. So now I'm just trying to get my life back together here and be a little bit more domestic. And I just bought a house 5 months ago. So
wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm just trying to clean up and decorate and, and spend some of that money I made into this house.
You could speak to how hard it is for women, to achieve success in, obviously a male-dominated industry, and for, a woman to have any type of form of success in the industry, it takes a lot. And maybe you from a male perspective can speak about that, but just women in general and what you can see that they have to go through.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything you said. It's way, way harder for females to make it as choreographers. They're not as respected as males are. Very few women, make it big. And then even less African Americans do. You have Hi-Hat, Fatima. You can literally count them in one hand. Like Hi-Hat, Fatima. I can't even think of another African American choreographer that's made it that big. It's like literally a handful of people. Mm-hmm. And I know that they go through a lot. I've heard stories, and this industry, it could be very shady because when you're being hired by certain directors or producers and you're a female, I hate to say this, but a lot of times they want to sleep with them. That's
yes.
why they get hired.
Yes, I understand.
And they don't. I'm not saying that they do that. The choreographers do that, but they're approached like that.
Yes.
And once they don't, then it's like, okay, we'll forget you. And Lorianne Gibson, that's the other female choreographer that's made it pretty big. Mm-hmm. I knew there was one more, I couldn't remember. But, other than those 3 female choreographers, like, it's hard. And if you're a minority, it's even harder. So if you're a double minority female and you're African American, it's like almost, you got to be 20 times better than a male choreographer. You have to be 20 times better. And I have to say, like, people like Rhapsody, who I think is an amazing choreographer, she could agree with me. Like, she's amazing. She's brilliant. She's borderline genius. And she still hasn't gotten to where she needs to be. Luan from New York City, another one.
Yes,
amazing.
Familiar.
Brilliant. Genius. Still struggling. Cannot get to where she needs to be. So there you have it. I mean, that's just my outtake on it. You know, my.
No, that's good. You know, because again, all these interviews and all of you guys' words are they're for the youth. You know, at some point, you know, for your peers, you know, you can only do so much and you can only help so much. But if you can get to the kids at a young age and you can get them this information, I think that is vital. So it helps them maneuver their courses as they're going about pursuing the entertainment industry, because they have to know. They have to know if this is what they really want to do, this is what they're going to, you know, have to be ready to encounter. And I just, you know, thank you and everybody else that always takes the time to let us know the truth. Therefore, you're empowering the youth because they have the truth and they'll better know how to pursue, you know, what they want to do as far as dealing with the arts and entertainment, you know, because it's not always pretty. You know, on TV, they always show, you know, the glitz and glamour of the hard work, but they don't necessarily always show the hard work.
Right. Right. Yeah, I always say it was when, you know, a lot of choreographers, they come up and you never heard of them, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this person. And, you know, they're like, oh, my God, this person just came out of nowhere, overnight success. And in reality, it wasn't overnight success. It was like a 9-year overnight success.
Yeah, you just didn't see it.
Struggling to get to where they are.
Yes.
Struggling. So if you've heard their name, like a Lorianne Gibson, a Hi-Hat, a Fatima, a Luan, a Rhapsody, if you heard any of those female choreographers' names, you know that they've been at it for years, and working hard, extremely hard.